Hello everybody, welcome to Blue Marble Science. I had promised myself not to do another Anthony Riley video for a while. Frankly, I'm just tired of the guy. And besides that, getting the best of Anthony is a lot like beating up Bambi in the first place. But this morning, I got on Anthony's live stream, made one comment, Anthony immediately attacked me, and the situation for Anthony just went downhill from there. Nathan even started making backdoor phone calls to try to help Anthony out. The whole exchange is pretty hilarious, and I thought you guys might get a kick out of watching it. Warning. Severe hyperventilation from uncontrolled laughter alert is in effect. You might want to keep those oven mitts handy. Maybe push the monitors back a bit, but I don't think it's going to get violent today. Hey Gladys. Let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun. Let's see if we can set this up. The flat earthers like Sleeping Warrior and Nathan Oakley have gone along with the quantum eraser's badly flawed understanding of physics for years, and they have vehemently asserted a couple of things. First, they say there's no such thing as atmospheric pressure. They say that's gas pressure, but to fit with their religion and to try to dodge gravity, they then say, but you can't have gas pressure without a sealed container. Well, that's actually correct if you're talking about pressurized gas like a can of butane, for instance. If the vessel is sealed, we can force more gas into it than it would hold at normal barometric conditions, just like the air pressure in your tires. Now poke a hole in your tire, and the pressure inside the tire will quickly become exactly equal to the pressure outside the tire, just atmospheric pressure. Everybody understands this. But tire pressure, or butane pressure, is not atmospheric pressure. That's pressurized gas in a pressure vessel. And the pressure has been artificially generated by pumping more of the gas or air into the vessel than nature would have normally provided under those conditions. Again, poke a hole in the side of your tire and you no longer have a gas container. You know, I've played Nathan and Huey saying the container had to be sealed several times, so I don't think we need to hear that again. No, what the hell? Let's hear it again. Is a gas container sealed or open?
But if the container is not sealed, the gas will escape.
I challenged this stupid concept in my video titled, We've Got Your Gas Pressure Without a Container, and all of Flirtdom went completely nuts. Well, they did that because this has the potential to collapse their entire flat earth fairy tale. I mean, you can't possibly allow gravity or atmospheric pressure without the dome because space is then real and those thousands of images of the spherical earth are just as real. Oh dear. So what do? Well, it's simple. Just move the goalpost. Now let's claim that an open-ended pipe is a gas container, even though they said it isn't. Now look, we've spent a little time investigating the barometric formula. We can measure the acceleration of gravity, and it's very clear how the atmosphere works. No container needed, just lots of gases that make up the atmosphere and a gravitational acceleration of 9.8 meters per second. So in between peeing on live streams and trying to figure out how to divide by zero, Sloppy has been bitching at me at every turn in the road to take down this video. Well, I'll tell you what, Sloppy, not only is it not coming down, I'm going to do another one, but in the meantime, we have us a situation. Sloppy and the boys need to prove to us that an open pipe is a container for gas. So on Sloppy's live stream, I asked for just that. And the result was, well, pretty hilarious. Between Anthony fumbling around on Google and failing miserably, and Nathan in the background making repeated calls to Anthony to try to salvage the mess that old Sloppy got himself into, I felt like I was watching a Laurel and Hardy routine. Let's see what you think.
Alright, so let's see if Hillbilly Blue Balls has answered a question yet. Is there any evidence from Hillbilly Blue Balls of him answering Paige's question? Let's have a look. Hillbilly Blue Balls, where are you? He can't admit a pipe is a container. He's a moron. He is. He won't admit it. This goes to show, though, that if you can't admit a pipe's a container, they're never going to admit. Paige, not hard at all when I'm wrong. Show me one credible definition saying an open pipe is a gas container. Oh my God. He's doubling down. Okay, I'll do it on Paige's behalf. Not hard at all when I'm wrong. Show me one credible definition saying an open pipe is a gas container. Okay. Container definition. An object for holding or transporting something. Let's click images and see, do we have a container that are, let's have a look. That one does have a lid. That one, well, that's a shell. It seems to have two. Right, so a container. Would you say that that is a credible enough citation for a measured container? Measured container. It's got a lid. Measured container. Plastic mixing pot. It's not seal, is it? Not hard at all when I'm wrong. Show me one credible definition saying an open pipe is a gas container. Let's have a look. So if I just type in, is an open pipe a gas container? Question mark. Gas storage vessel means a storage container designed to be filled. Let's see what this says. Bear in mind I'm winging this like on the cuff. Let's see what happens. Right, these regulations may be cited as the Gas Safety Installation and Use Regs 1998 and shall come into force on whatever date. So let's see if there's a definition for container. Gas storage vessel. We need container. I don't think we have the word container in here, do we? Gas storage vessel means a storage container designed to be filled. We need a definition for the word container in here. And even, what's funny is even if we do find one, which won't be that difficult, he's just not going to accept it anyway. Open-ended gas pipes. That should do it. LPG gas pipe safety alert. Open-ended gas pipes. It is both dangerous and illegal to have a gas pipe. Yo, yo. Yo, yo.
Hello? Oh, hey, Nathan. Sloppy? Oh, hang on. Yo, Sloppy. Nathan wants you.
In what? The legislation bit?
Yeah, you scroll past it a bit too quickly. It's in like bullet points, but it says a cylinder. Sorry.
Okay, I'm having a look.
I think it's it.
Okay. It says a cylinder. I think it was in here, wasn't I? Ugh. Not sure where I got that cited, that page I was on. I thought it was the first one. Yeah, this one. And then I did a search for container. And Nathan said about a cylinder. Right, so here we go. Gas fittings mean... There we go, so... Gas fittings mean gas pipeworks or valves, regulators and meters, and fittings, apparatus and appliances designed for use by consumers of gas for heating, lighting, cooking and other purposes. For gas which can be used other than the purposes of an industrial process carried out on industry, but it does not mean any part of a service pipe, any part of a distribution main pipe, or the part of a gas storage vessel or a gas cylinder or cartridge designed to be disposed of when empty. Not sure that does actually. I'm not sure, Nathan, on that one. I'm just trying to find what he's asked for, one credible definition saying an open pipe is a gas container. We need the general definition of a container, don't we? Container definition. An object for holding or transporting something.
Hello?
Go on, Nathan.
Oh, hey, Nathan.
He had it.
You want to talk to Sloppy again?
It's a cylinder attached to a barrel.
Hang on. Hey, Sloppy. Sloppy.
Okay.
Nathan wants you.
That's what he had. It describes what
Sloppy.
he had. That's his setup.
Well, I mean, he's asking for a credible citation. I mean, that I'll go back to it in a sec. But I've just got the definition of container up, and it says an object for holding or transporting something. Well, he's holding gas. He's holding butane in it, so container is an object for holding or transporting something. It doesn't say sealed. So when he says, show me one credible definition saying an open pipe is a gas container, well, an open pipe would be an object for holding gas. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious that he just doesn't want to admit he's wrong.
Yeah. He's an idiot.
He is an idiot.
Thanks again.
No worries, seen a bit. Bill G says, can't hear Nathan. Don't worry. Nathan was just telling me where it is. Prime map at LPG is stored at about 10. Yep. So is there any evidence from Hillbilly Blue Balls that he can admit that he's wrong yet? Where is Hillbilly Blue Balls? Let's see where he's at. Right, Blue Marble Science. Right, so let's look for Blue Marble Science again. Any evidence that Blue Marble Science can admit that he's wrong? Blue Marble Science, that is not a gas container, you idiot. Well, a gas container, so you want a gas container definition. It's going to be a container that houses gas, isn't it? A gas cylinder is a pressure vessel for storage and containment of gases above atmospheric pressure. High pressure gas cylinders are also called bottles. The term cylinder in this context is not to be confused with tank, the latter being an open top or vented container that stores liquid under gravity. Right, so what's wrong with that? Why is that not credible? A gas cylinder is a pressure for... So why is this not considered credible? This is not a gas container, you idiot. So it says here, a typical gas cylinder... where is it? Inside the cylinder... The term cylinder... So you're asking for a gas container. The term cylinder in this context is not to be confused with tank, the latter being an open top or vented container that stores liquids under gravity. Well, we know gravity is not a force. So we'll replace that with density, right? But so he says that is not a gas container. Cylinder in this context is not to be confused with tank, the latter being an open top or vented container that stores liquids under gravity. I'm seeing that you're not going to admit this no matter what you're presented with, because it's clear that anything that contains gas pressure is going to be a container, because by virtue of the fact that there's contained gas in it, it's going to be a container. So let's see again. Is there any evidence that Blue Marble Science will admit that he's wrong? It's Hillbilly Blue Balls. Being far too literal. Not really. Words have got meanings, and if he's saying that if we need a credible citation, a container being an open topped container, then he'll admit he's wrong. Then we just need to see citation of an open top container, and we have an open top or vented container that stores liquids under gravity. Well, all right. So he's going to say, "Oh, it's not gases, though, is it?" Well, liquid. That I think that really should say the word fluids. Blue Marble Science should go back to, is there any evidence from Blue Marble Science? Gotcha, slop. No, what do you mean you've got me? What do you mean you've got me? Not at all, moron. Not at all.
All right.
In the United States, liquid bottled gas is sometimes used. In the United Kingdom, more from bottled gas has been discussing any uses within it. Materials, design codes. Cylinders reinforced or built up with fibre. You must be inspected more frequently than metal cylinders. Inspection intervals of steel cylinders, 5 or 6. Types of cylinders. Type 1, metal only. Type 2, metal vessel, hoop wrapped. Type 3, thin metal liner. Metal free liner. Pressure vessels for gas storage may be also classified by volume. In South Africa, a gas storage cylinder implies a refillable, transportable container with a water capacity of up to 100. Okay. I'm not sure how you've claiming a victory here. A cylinder is a container is anything that's containing something, and I don't really see how you can argue otherwise. Oops. Yeah. That's already done, isn't it? Oh, we're not supposed to be literal. Yeah, they don't like the meanings of words when they get put into a corner and they're getting punch after punch after punch. What is needed to make gas into a liquid? Cold. What is needed? Well, it's pressure and temperature, isn't it? Blue Marble Science. Gas containers have to be sealed. Gas containers have to be sealed pressure vessels. Gas containers have to be sealed pressure vessels. An open pipe isn't a gas container, you moron. Okay, let's have a look at that. So when in this Wikipedia citation, it was this bit here, wasn't it? The term cylinder in this context is not to be confused with tank, the latter being an open-top vented container. So what you're doing is saying, yeah, but you didn't say cylinder, did you? Gas containers have to be sealed pressure vessels. No, container requires containment. So gas container. So what you're doing is saying gas container definition. All right, so this is a pressurized gas. All right, so what you're doing is putting these in under extreme pressure. All right, so there's one there that's got an open top, just like yours, Hillbilly Blue Balls.
Wrong, Sloppy. That's a depiction of how molecules behave in solids, liquids, and gases.
So what you're doing is you're saying that the pressure relative to the atmosphere needs to be sealed. Well, of course, but we're not saying that. We're saying that gas pressure relative to whatever medium you're in has got to be contained. Now, you're demonstrating this in atmospheric pressure, right? Gas pressure, atmosphere pressure. We know there's no such term as atmospheric pressure, but in the medium that we're in. But you're within a gas container, aren't you? You're within a medium. So if you wanted pressure, more pressure than the medium that you're in, you're going to have to contain it with a sealed container. But that doesn't mean that without a sealed container you can't have gas pressure, because we know that you can. We know that you do. We've demonstrated it numerous times. So there you go. What is the first? There you go. There's an open container. Positive heat. Heat enters gas. Negative heat. Heat exit gas. Open container.
Wrong again, Sloppy. That's not an open top container. It's got a piston on the top of it with a little actuator rod where you can push on it and increase or decrease the pressure. Are you really that stupid?
Yeah. What's wrong with having a thingy? Oh, mind you, they might be sealed at the top, mightn't they? Oh, they are sealed at the top, I think. I'm pretty sure they are. Hillbilly Blue Balls won't admit he's wrong. Ever. So what you're doing is you're distinguishing pressure from the environment that we're in going greater than. Well, just because you haven't got a pressure going greater than doesn't mean you haven't got pressure. You do have pressure. Of course an open pipe isn't a gas container. Neither are pineapples. What the fuck's the point? An open pipe isn't a gas container. But it is though, isn't it? Because Hillbilly Blue Balls has got gas contained in his open pipe. So an open pipe is a gas container. It's just not under pressure relative to the atmosphere that's greater than. Yeah, they won't admit that they're wrong. So an open pipe is obviously not a container now, is it, Sloppy? Yeah, of course. So if an open pipe's not a container, what you're doing is demanding that there's a pressure greater than the atmosphere environment that we're in, and then claiming that it must be closed. That's not my point. My point is to have the pressure in the first place. To have a pressure, it has to be contained. But it doesn't have to be sealed. The sealing part of it stops the effects of entropy over time. You don't have to have a sealed container because you demonstrate that. But you do have to have an open container, a sealed container, to have gas pressure in a vacuum because the effects of entropy are immediate. I demonstrated it. I've showed it you loads of times. You're just doing deny, deny, deny. He thinks a tyre with a puncture is not a container. He's a moron. He does think that a tyre without a puncture is not a container. Arwen's going to be on in 12 minutes. So it's not contained then, is it? Yes, of course it's contained. So let's go back to the definition of container. Right, so this Tupperware, freezer safe. Are you saying that the container without a lid on it is not a container? If you are, you're a moron, Neil Marsden. You are a moron anyway. Sorry, Sloppy, you lost this one badly. No, a container is anything that contains something like water or gas. You can pour sulfur hexafluoride in the container and it'll still be a container whether it's got the lid on it or not. What you're doing is contrasting the pressure of the gas that you want to be greater than the environment that we're in, and that requires containment, a seal, because you can't have gas pressure without containment, but it's relative to the medium that you're in. So if you're going to argue that we live in a gas pressure in a vacuum of space, that vacuum requires a sealed container, because otherwise entropy, it takes over immediately. It's immediate. If you're going to demonstrate gas pressure in the environment that we're in relative to the medium that we're in, then you don't need it to be sealed because you've already got the gas pressure. We're the cherry tomato. So let's go back to this.
The original machine had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with the panometric fam. The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented.
Gas pressure. Oops. What was that? Entropy is simple, qualitatively. Forgotten about this. What's this? I haven't seen that for a while. Well, let's go back to the one I was going to use. So when you are within a density gradient, which we are clearly in, we are within the pipe that Blue Marble had going up the side of his house. We're living in that pipe. We're just a cherry tomato that's within the gradient. So do you need an open container when you were within the gradient itself? Obviously and demonstrably not. But if you wanted the gas pressure relative to the environment that you're in to massively exceed it by some 14.7 psi approximately, it needs to be sealed, which is the point that we were making. The effects of entropy take over immediately. But when we do it when it's close to the medium that we're in of air, it doesn't need to be sealed because the effects of entropy are a lot less violent. I think you need to understand the effects of entropy. When it's relative to the medium that you're in, it's a lot slower. When it's in a vacuum, it's immediate. That's the bit that you're ignoring, and you're trying to flip it the other way around and say, well, I want loads of pressure relative to the medium that you're in. Yeah, it'll need to be a sealed container then. But you don't have to have a sealed container because, as you demonstrate yourself, the butane will sit in that container because it's more dense than the air it's in. But the question that Paige asked is, why can't you just admit that you're wrong? Because your video, for the benefit of everybody else, is gas pressure without a container when you've got containment going up the side of your house. This is clearly wrong. This is gas pressure this is gas density gradient within a container. This is not gas pressure without a container. So why can't you just admit that you're wrong?
Because I'm not wrong, Sloppy. That pipe is not what is creating the pressure. The pressure is being created by the acceleration of gravity. It works according to the barometric formula, and it works perfectly. Now, we don't really care if you guys like that or not. Gravity doesn't need your permission. It's there, and it's going to continue doing what it does. Admit that I'm wrong? No, I'm not wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah. It's literally that simple. For fuck's sake, pipe is a container. Is there any evidence of BlueMarbleScience admitting he's wrong? I'm going to argue that P equals... But you'll never understand that, right? So you're going to argue that pressure equals... okay, so copy that, and let's see what these values are. Let's define terms, because I know that you guys don't like defining terms, but we're going to find out what these are, right? So the barometric formula relates to the pressure of a gas of a molar mass at some altitude, height h, to its pressure at sea level. One consequence of the barometric formula is the composition of gas mixture depends on the altitude. The approximate composition of dry air at sea levels in mole percent is N2, blah, blah, blah. The barometric formula can be applied to the partial pressure of each component of air, finding the component of dry air. So calculations. Right, all right, so you can calculate the gradient. Yeah, you could probably do it with the Boltzmann formula as well, to be honest, but that tells you the rate in which things fall apart. Let's see what else this is. Barometric formula.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
So we leave our friend Sloppy on his magic quest to find the elusive open-top gas container. Oh my. Godspeed, Sloppy. Well, I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. There's a link to the Patreon right there. And I'll tell you what, we'll see you guys on the next one. Hey, Gladys. We're out of here.